White vehicle just drove by and they used the car horn. All right. Again. So the New York Predator Department using their helicopter. All right. Just a few minutes before Pam walked in the house. So why did they use it? Talk about sound and vibration, and how it affects the central nervous system. Okay. Yeah, hear the sirens? Yeah, I'm exposing it because I know. Okay, I know. So I want you to understand also that when you start to get knowledge, when you start to learn the truth, they will use their sirens, all right? They will use coercive threats to prevent you from seeking knowledge, from obtaining knowledge, because now you begin to see the system for what it really is, how they manipulate people, all right? And particularly using, all right, highly classified weapons, okay? Particularly using highly classified weapons. So look at the perps. Again, let me tell you, I can't wait for when the reality hit their ass, all right? Because, like I said, I'm going to be there with a smile on my face, okay? I'm going to be there with a, yeah, use your sirens. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be there with a smile on my face. Okay? Anyhow. So vibrations. Again. The use of microwave and radio wave frequency to manipulate the minds of human beings, to program them in order to control, to set them up, to frame them. And also the use of, again, snitches, perps. Because why? Because they have been searching within the black community for black leaders, or those who they fear, or those who they see has potential, and to destroy them. And because, again, the vast majority of black children, particularly black boys, are raised in households run by single mothers, is the reason why they have created within the black community, right, fatherless homes. Okay, that's fatherless children now, fatherless homes, all right, because the majority of black men are involved in their children's life. Okay, though they may not live in the same home, but they are involved in their children's life. So we have to understand. Look at her, she did the hand signal behind her. I'm doing the same thing to her too. Okay, so they can be mad and walk around be mad or what? I don't know you. I've never done you wrong, but you have done me wrong. Right, trying to get away with it. Again, this is how they villainize those who they fear, and because they have the ability, the resources to get away with it, right? They do. And you know, the sheeps, and using religion and religious indoctrination as a tool to entrap black people, particularly black men. And like I said, I am not the one. Okay? I am not the one. Right? But when I say I am not the one, meaning I'm not the one that you're going to do this to a railroad. It's not going to happen. So I keep saying all the time, you know, I am the wrong one, but I'm the right one. I'm the wrong one you mess with, that you decided you're going to do this to, but I'm the right one to expose you. Okay? So let's not even act as if you're doing me some favor, that you've saved my life. You didn't save my life. You manipulated me, you manipulated the people around me in order to come in as the white savior, right? And you're white, as with black people, their white savior is Jesus Christ. No matter how they try to paint him black. Even though he was painted originally as being a black man, he was still the conqueror. But you know, this version of Christianity is created from the minds of Europeans, okay? And black people, even though black people had a hand in creating it, but again, as we see black people today who will, you know, join the Mormon church, right? Which, again, the Mormons are very racist, discriminatory. Even the Bible discriminate against black people, but black people got to be a part of it. Why? Because again, majority of white people understand psychology and how trauma works. And so again, creating trauma within the black communities or communities in which black people live within black people, and doing it in such a way that we look at each other and we hold each other at fault, right? But as Dr. Francis Cress Wilson says, right, white supremacy is responsible for 90% of all negative things that goes on in communities in which black people live and within black people themselves. Okay, and I would say, I would even go a little higher and say 95%. Okay? But again, we don't understand that. Because again, we are believers instead of people who know. Right? So when I talk about silent sound being used, when I think back about what was happening with me and my brother, I realized, yeah, that's what's happening. And I realized that, even in the 80s, right? There are certain things, particularly what my mom used to tell us. Let me tell you, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but it might have been a while, but I'm going to refresh our minds. So when my brother and I were younger, my brother got bitten by a dog. My mother took my brother and I to the hospital. I was crying out in pain because my brother got bitten. The doctor came out, took me into the office, into the examination room, looked me over, came back around, told my mother that this child doesn't have any dog bites. She's still a doctor, it's not him, it's this one. So again, the doctor is like, well, why is he crying? So there's something that's special within twins. And like I said, I always remember this. There's certain things I always remember when I was younger. And I'm saying to myself, the black community is so surveilled, and how the U.S. government have been doing all these research on human experimentation research, particularly with psychic and ESP and stuff like that. And because our community is so surveilled, that if they were eavesdropping and they heard that, hey, these two twins, one was feeling the other one pain, man, we should experiment them. See, we never think about these things, right? That's why I said to black people, when your child is extremely intelligent and extremely gifted, stop sending them to these Ivy League schools. I know you think that you're doing them a good favor, okay? But you're not. All right? And if you are sending them to Ivy League school, then you need to move with your child. Move with your child. You need to make sure that you're cooking their food. You need to make sure that the people around them is not giving them anything to drink, to eat. Right? Because again, call it paranoid, but know what I know, okay? That's what you need to do. All right? Because they will brainwash your children. They will manipulate your children in ways that they would not be able to recognize, and you won't be able to recognize. Okay? See, we don't give white people credit for being evil, being sadistic, being insidious enough that they do stuff like that. Okay? Right? They engage in the displacement of black people, and we call it gentrification, to sanitize it. Right? It is violence against black people. All right? It is displacement against black people. But this is what they do. They play on words. They use words to make it sound good, the sanitization of words, right? Words that are used to cover up the violence, right? The crimes. Okay? But what do we do? What do we do? They come into the school and they say, oh, yes, your child has ADHD to get on medication. No, because the child doesn't have a father in the home, so the child doesn't learn discipline. He doesn't learn to sit still, because why? His mother can't be bothered. Okay? Mother have them watching TV all day. And today not watching on the computer. If I'm not there, their mother, my kids, the two youngest mother, they won't help them help. She won't help them do their homework. She won't make sure they read. Okay. She won't make, like I had to tell my son today. I said, it is ridiculous that you telling me I talk to your mother about making sure that your homework is done when I'm not there. I spoke to you. I sit here with you. I see you do your homework, but you don't do all of it. So like I said, next month I have to, and again, when you're targeted as much to get distracted, even though, like I said, I make sure that he do sit down his computer, get on his homework. But he's telling me that the only homework he's been doing is those posted in Google Classroom. And I said, like, Ethan, didn't we already discuss this? And we said that you should not be using Google Classroom, that you should be using Jupyter? And this was a month ago, right? School started last month. So when the second week of school, and I see that, when I keep asking him about homework, and he's again telling me that no homework posted, or a few homework posted, I'm like, no, that's impossible. So I spoke to his mother. I said, can you get on Jupyter and make sure that, he can do his homework? She come back and she tell me, well, only thing that I saw is he got an 89 in chemistry. But again, she wanted me to repeat that, and I knew I know her mind very well. I know how to use her. They try to make it seem like our son is doing his homework. She is deliberately destroying their lives. They're not destroying their life, but destroying their education, their mind, right? You know what I'm saying? She's deliberately doing it, right? And again, she's sacrificing her children for her, what I call it, for her, money, position, at her job. Because you got to understand that when you psychologically agree to their terms, you have to sacrifice them. And this is why, like again, and why is that? You look at Christian people, particularly in the black community, they would sacrifice their children for Jesus. Right? They would sacrifice each other and family members for Jesus. Look how you on it. Look how over there. Here's your pay while I hear you on it. Right? But they don't get it. They have been so indoctrinated with this Christian bullshit, they don't get it. Right? They can't see it because, again, we are conditioned in such a way that we can't see beyond what's directly in front of us. Okay? We don't have the mindset to look at things in a much more deeper, broader aspect, in a much more realistic aspect, because we just want to believe. Okay, like I tell you, look, let me tell you, after this war between in the Middle East, but in North Africa, Northeast Africa, I should say, after this war, I will guarantee you that those Muslim countries, those Arab countries, will start to invest heavily in technology. I can guarantee you that, because what this war shows you is that their God, Allah, can't do shit against the Jewish God. Okay, and again, this is, these people have their concept of who their God is and who this God is, but what this will show you is that technology rules. Money and technology, money and weapon, the most sophisticated weapon you can create and you can build. Okay, it shows you that no amount of a person believing in their God is superior than other person's God going to mean anything, right? Unless you have the weapons, the technology, the training, the skills, right? To defend yourself or to even go on any sort of offensive against an enemy. Okay? When you look at countries in the West, right? You look at the Vatican. You think the Vatican is into technology? The Vatican has some of the most advanced technology. Why? Because they have scientists. They have doctors. They have neurologists. They have chemists. You know what I'm saying? They have people, scientists that engage in virus creation. Again, these religions, particularly Christianity, it is a global white supremacist religion. But we don't want to listen. Right? You know what I'm saying? When I've been showing you guys how they have been creating weapons to control our minds since the 1960s. Okay? There's proof that shows you this, but we don't want to listen. Because we still, in spite of everything that I've shown, that is being shown, God is the only one that can control my mind. God is the only one that can control my mind. No. The government can control your mind. The New York City Predator Department can control your mind. Because if they can manipulate you to participate in doing this stuff, they're the ones that's controlling your mind, not God. Okay? Whether you know it or you don't know it, they're controlling your mind, not God. All right? If they can make you hate me for me not doing anything to you, God ain't controlling your mind. They're controlling your mind. Okay? So yeah. Anyhow, Bus is here. Talk to you guys in a minute.